think I lost it.
Yes.
Hold up.
There it is.
Sorry about the cough drop.
I think I just gave you two.
Oh,
Need two?
probably not. It's just only single use.
actually
Well, it
set up.
expires 6/30.
23.
How do you get it for that long?
No, so it's weird. So basically what it means is
Oh, you know.
I got an email just like maybe 10 minutes ago from Mary that she is not going to join.
Okay, so it's just,
So we may have everybody here
okay.
that we're going to have.
So the email just come through. Y'all ready?
All right. Happy New Year. Okay. There, I won't have feedback because I turned my computer off. So Happy New Year's, everyone. We're officially calling our meeting to order at 6:35 p.m. Yay. We made it to a new year, y'all. That's exciting to me. So Catherine will be joining us virtually. Is it possible to put Catherine on the screen? Oh.
There she is.
So she is joining us virtually, and we will do roll call. Todd will do roll call.
Yeah, I was distracted. I'm like looking at all the technology and being distracted. Here we go. Jessica,
Present.
Ernest,
Present.
Jeanette,
Present.
Mary, not here. Wolfgang,
Here.
Catherine,
Here.
Andy is not here, and Lindell.
Here.
All right, then we're gonna recite our mission. Are y'all ready? This is the awkward part. Okay, act as a strong advocate to justice and equal opportunity, but provide citywide leadership and guidance in the area of civil rights. Okay, we're gonna open up for public comment. Todd will have the timer that will display on screen. I'll just read this. The commission welcomes comments and questions and commits to listening carefully and thoughtfully to what is presented. A maximum of 16 public comment time slots are allotted per meeting. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. The commission requests that members of the public refrain from engaging in personal attack against commissioners and staff members and asks that comments and questions focus on matters related to human rights within the city. Are there any, and if you're online, star 6, Todd? Star 9,
if you're on
sorry, I
phone,
could read my
yeah.
agenda. Star 9 if you would like to unmute. And if you're on Zoom, feel free to mute or raise your hand and we can have you on. Are there any, do we have no one online?
There are currently no attendees.
Okay, so no public comment. That makes it real easy. So then there's no commission response. So then we have action items to approve minutes. Todd, will you just go like roll call on those?
Yep, and I'm going to do the one kind of new thing that I keep forgetting to I should probably just add this to the agenda, but if anybody is participating, or not participating, but participating or watching virtually and you have any trouble with that, I have to give you a number to call, and the number would be 434-970-3023. So that's 434-970-3023. That'll ring to this phone here, but try not to do it unless you really have to, because it'll ring and everyone will hear it. Nobody sees the chat in the virtual thing. So, okay, let's go with 8/18/22 regular regular meeting minutes, and I'll just go through a vote. What's that?
August. What day was that?
Yeah,
Oh, this is
August
August 18th, 2022.
I didn't realize we hadn't
We had a-
approved all of these.
I think what happened was, maybe Jenny and I can remember this together, is I think there was either not enough folks, or I think we posted it so late that folks didn't get to read it and
Oh.
felt like they wanted
Oh,
to
okay.
wait till the next meeting, and then the next meeting came and we forgot about it. So here it is. Are we ready for a vote on that one?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. And Jessica,
Yes, approve.
Ernest,
Yes.
Jeanette,
Approve.
Wolfgang,
Abstain.
Catherine,
Yes.
And Lindell.
Approved.
All right. And then we'll move on to the August 30th Community Engagement Committee meeting minutes. We'll do another roll call vote here. Jessica,
Approve.
Ernest,
Abstain.
Jeanette,
Approve.
and Wolfgang,
Abstain.
Catherine,
Abstain.
and Lindell.
Approve.
All right. Moving on to our November committee meeting minutes. That was the combined committees, so we're just kind of lumping it all together and saying, do we approve of those minutes? Jessica,
Approve.
Ernest,
Approved.
Jeanette,
Approve.
Wolfgang,
Abstain.
Catherine,
Abstain.
and Lindell.
Abstain.
Okay. And now on to our December 15th regular meeting minutes.
So,
Jessica?
Todd, I have a question.
Yeah, sure, sure.
If by default I wasn't there, I can't approve it, even though I read the minutes?
Yeah, that's a great, that's a really good question. You might choose to abstain, that seems
Okay,
reasonable.
I'll abstain.
Yeah, okay,
I wasn't there.
all
I did
right.
read the minutes.
Ernest,
Okay.
Approved.
Jeanette,
Approve.
Mary? Oh, look at me, I'm just looking around. Wolfgang,
Approve.
Catherine,
Approve.
I almost said Andy, but I didn't. Lindell?
Abstain.
Okay. And I believe that is all of the minutes.
Okay, so now I actually have to turn over this meeting to Todd for our officer elections.
Thank you, Jessica.
That felt
Here we
so
go.
official.
Yeah, it feels so official. I like that we giggle when we do it, so that
Yes.
makes me feel less formal
I have
about
to
it.
giggle.
So I'm going to go the old-fashioned way. I pulled up our old bylaws because the last page of the bylaws is where our election procedure is. It's normally a little bit more complicated if we have a lot of nominees, but I don't know that we do this time unless we have some from the floor. So I don't know if we did. Maybe I'll just ask Wolfgang, did you get any additional nominations?
Not since I presented the slate last time.
Great, that was the slate, so we may be at the same position. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So let's just confirm, first of all, our nominations for the office of chair, and that would be Jessica, is that correct? Any other nominations from the floor? Okay, and so what we need to do is have a move to nominate and a second from the commission.
I move to nominate.
I second.
Okay, so Lindell moves to nominate. We got a second from Wolfgang. I know it's pretty complicated.
We
All
love
right.
you.
No other nominations from the floor. We'll hold a vote. Okay,
I love it.
it's complicated, and nominees can vote as well. So, Jessica,
I'm sorry.
you can vote for yourself if you'd like. I'm
Oh.
doing the roll call vote. Sorry, yeah, jumping
Okay.
ahead.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, self-confidence there. Ernest,
Yes.
Jeanette,
Yes.
all right. Wolfgang,
Yes.
Catherine, did she say?
mute, but I saw her mouth.
Did she say?
Sorry, I said yes. I said
Okay.
yes. I didn't.
Sorry. We're looking at different screens, that's the problem. Ann Lindell,
Yes.
very good. That means you are now chair. Yay.
guys.
So, let's go ahead and do the same process here for the vice chair. Do we have any new nominations for vice chair? No? Any nominations from the floor? Okay. Ernest, from the meeting in December, you were nominated as a candidate for vice chair. Do we have a motion and a second on that?
I motion.
I second.
That's so good. You guys are just like, it's like clockwork. So Lindell made the motion, Wolfgang seconded. We're going to move to a roll call vote. Jessica?
Yes.
All right, that was good. I like that. Ernest?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Jeanette?
Yes.
And Wolfgang?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
We were both on it. I looked at you and you were unmuted, so good. And Lindell?
Yes.
Very good. Ernest, welcome back to Vice Chair.
Thank you, sir.
So exciting. Congratulations to you both, and super look forward to working with you
Yes.
for yet another
Likewise,
year. So good. I'm going to turn the meeting back over to the chair.
Thank y'all. I just, I'm the sappy one. I just want to say I appreciate that being chosen as chair, and for Ernest to be chosen as vice chair. Y'all have made it really easy. So I appreciate the work that we have done and the work that we're going to continue to do. That is my update. I would just say that I know I read in the minutes, we're going to be meeting next month for the committee engagement. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that work. I'm looking forward to working with Todd about what the retreat can look like and what things we can do for this year. But I think we have had a lot of great momentum last year, and I'm looking forward to putting and implementing some of those things that we've started. So thank y'all. I take it not lightly. Even though this was easy, I don't take it lightly that you guys have agreed for me to still be your chair. So thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart. So that's my chair update. And thank you, Ernest, for holding it down last month when I wasn't able to be here.
That's right.
So Todd, the OHR staff report.
All right, I'll jump in here. As usual, we have the big colorful chart in there. That is the complete data for 2022. That was a huge team effort to make that happen. So just want to give a shout out to Victoria and Jenny, who's here with us today. And Lily. Lily did the bulk of the data entry for us, and she did that big push to kind of create that navigational contact bit, which has been really helpful for us to kind of reevaluate, like, what all are we doing that's sort of outside of what we're kind of technically supposed to be doing per the ordinance. And so we're doing a lot of kind of internal reflection on how do we manage that, and what could we do differently, how could we do it better. And so we're thinking a lot about that for the coming year. And so just to kind of make a point that, this 2021 was the highest number of incoming contacts that we had ever, and incoming contacts this year were 1,290 higher. So it was a busy year.
Yeah.
It was a busy year. And so we're just kind of reflecting on that now, looking at why that was, what does that mean, and we're really looking forward, just as another update, to hiring an intake and admin specialist soon. So the position closes on the 20th, tomorrow. I haven't actually, I'm kind of like waiting to open the present, right? I get to look at the computer program that tells us who's all applied, and I'll probably do that tomorrow and just kind of take a look and see what all's coming. Ooh, that's a good question. We have would you want to take this and see if they're calling about virtual access to the meeting? Thank you. And so that's coming up.
So is it just one position, Todd?
It's one position right now. So we still have funding from ARPA dollars for for an investigator position. But what I want to do is, I think I want to do this kind of sequentially. I want to hire the intake person first, get them really solid, make sure that they feel trained and ready to go, and then we'll work on the investigator position. So that's kind of the plan. And it also dovetails with, I sent an email to Eric Steinecker, who I think some of you have met in a meeting before, but he's the representative from HUD, who runs the Fair Housing Assistance Program. And so I sent him our ordinance that was adopted by council back in November, and said, what's next to pursue the work share program. So
What's his name again?
this is Eric Steinecker. He was, I think he was staff attorney before. Now he's the interim director of the FAP programs for the U.S. So he's changed. He's got a big role now. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what he says about that.
Is he based here in Shelby?
He's in D.C.
He's in DC?
Yep.
Is there any way we can, I don't think I've ever come in contact with him.
Yeah,
I think,
we can, I'm sure he'd be willing to come back to a commission meeting. He joined us virtually from DC once when we
Okay.
had a bunch of questions about
okay.
all the process and everything, and he just kind of sat down, just did a question and answer with us.
Okay.
Yeah, if we ever want to do that again, we can. Other big things to think about, I think I sent in the email, the kind of summary of the upcoming meetings, where we have a committee meeting that's going to be virtual on the 2nd of February,
Mhm.
because council's going to be in here. Was that a technological question? No, something else. Okay. And then the retreat, we're going to aim for March for that. I had put in the notes the 16th, which is the third Thursday, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
Is that what we want to do? Do we want to, we've done it in different ways in the past, and right now we're starting to meet, I still feel like this is a little bit nascent, right? We're still starting to meet in person and figuring out being in person together again. Do we want to do something different than meeting here? I think that would maybe pose some technological challenges from the standpoint of broadcast. We're well set up here to do that, if we want to do it here. In the past, when we didn't broadcast or do anything like that, we would meet off-site, and sometimes on Saturdays, in fact. But maybe we can talk about that just for a moment to say, like, what are you looking for from this? Or do you want to hold it the same time as a regular meeting?
I think my thoughts on that, keeping it on that day was, I think it was our regular meeting day anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave us the access to technology that we needed.
Yep.
And we didn't have to, if we went off campus somewhere, we would have to put things together and make it very difficult.
Yep.
So it was just, that was my thought. But I didn't think about the timing, as far as do we start earlier in the day or do we stay later in the evening or what have you it's because it is a retreat, so there are
Mm-hmm.
definitely specific things we need to take care of on that day. So, but I definitely was thinking that we're keeping it somewhere here because the technology is here, it has to be open to the public, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. Yep.
So,
Yeah, I like the idea here, not so great during the week, because I know people have day jobs that I don't want to interfere with, so I lean to the Saturday, just because it gives us time to have a solid block of 4 hours that we've done in the past, right, Todd? It's like 4 hours.
Yeah, I think it's been
of
that
time,
long.
but
Yeah.
that's my opinions. What do y'all, I mean, I know,
As somebody
Good
with
job.
one of those day jobs,
Yeah.
if it's like a once off, I could be flexible to come
Okay.
during the day.
okay.
So I'll meet you whenever it happens. I can also come during the day.
Okay,
yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
if it's a one,
okay,
if it's a one-off type of situation.
okay.
do that,
Okay.
but-
And-
Catherine, thus say you?
Saturdays are a little hard for me. I would prefer a Saturday afternoon to a Saturday morning, but I will make whatever work.
So could you come during a weekday?
I can,
Okay.
I mean, with some caveats, but yes, I could come.
Oh,
I mean, I teach on Monday afternoons, for example, so I,
Oh, so this
Couldn't
will
on
be,
a Monday.
Todd is proposing for, March 16th, which is like the same
Oh, I did-
of our like regular meeting, but we'd probably have it like earlier in the day.
And
oh, I see. Yeah, no, I could definitely do that.
So Todd, if we did a retreat, we don't also have to have our regular meeting at 6:30, right?
No.
Okay,
And-
okay.
And to throw a new twist to the story
don't wanna
here
do
is
that.
that now council has also scheduled a budget work session on top of that meeting as well. Before they
on the
hadn't.
16th?
Yeah, they've also put, so it's starting at 5. So city space would, so the talk about meeting during the day is
Had to be-
advantageous because we no longer have city space on that day either. Before, when I had brought this up, I had noticed that council had scheduled over our committee times, but they hadn't scheduled over our regular meeting. Now they've scheduled over the regular meeting as well, so we've lost the space
Okay,
on the 16th.
so we have to meet on that day before 5 o'clock.
We would have to, if we were to use this
Oh,
space,
okay.
yeah. Uh-huh.
I can do that.
So we would have to be out of here at least before
But
4:30.
like 4:30 at least, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yep, because they're gonna want to restructure the room and everything for that broadcast. How does that, that's challenging, I know your workday specifically, Ernest, wouldn't it
I
be?
mean, I would have to take the day.
You would, that's
Yeah.
hard.
Well, I can figure it out.
I mean,
I can figure it out.
alternatively, if I look toward Friday the 17th, nobody's grabbed city space that day. So you could potentially do that.
Friday evening? Afternoon
Friday,
evening?
Friday all day, it's empty. I'm seeing the calendar right now, so we could, yeah. We could do it earlier in the day, but not so early that you'd have to take a day off.
Right.
Or anyone would have to take a day off for that matter, perhaps.
So two of our commissioners are not here,
True.
so can we, sorry, let me ask the room. So how do y'all feel about the 16th, which is a Thursday, during the day? So like I would think of like 10 to 2 type thing. Would you have to take the whole day off, Ernest, we did a 10 to 2? That's probably your whole school day. Yeah.
What time could you start?
Yeah,
I can start as early as, I'll just have to take a personal day.
Oh, I see.
I can
okay,
start
either
as-
way, you have to take a
Yeah,
personal day.
I can start as early as possible, as needed.
So is there a preference for Thursday over Friday?
Not really. If we do during the day, it would be beneficial for me, I guess, if we do like a morning, like a 9 to 1 or a 1 to 4 kind of situation. That way
Okay.
I could like go into work the rest of the day. The rest of our commissioners that aren't here, I know Andy usually says that during the day works for him. He's a flexible schedule. I don't know about Mary though.
So can we just do a, survey?
Yeah, we can do a quick poll.
For
Oh,
both
when to
the
meet.
16th and the 17th?
Oh, yeah. Could you do that?
I can do it, yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna go to a poll, all the commissioners can have input on this.
Mhm.
Poll for either the 16th or the 17th with times.
So
Okay.
like, so we're thinking the 16th, 4-hour block,
Yes,
9
10,
to 1, 12, 1,
9 to 1, yeah.
Or,
1 to 5. Is that
or we
2,
can
3,
do
4,
5.
5?
We have to do early in the
Oh,
night.
okay.
Because council has
Oh, that's
some
right,
space.
all right.
12 to 4.
12 to
So we
4.
have to do 12 to 4. And then we can be a little more lenient on the 17th.
17th, we could start at 4 and go to 8,
Yeah.
which would mean you would not have,
Or vice versa.
right.
We do somewhere early in the day, so
Okay.
let me know.
Wolfgang's putting together when to meet.
Oh, really? Great, thank you.
When is
Right now.
when is the earliest that we would want to meet? So I've got like a 12 to 4, 4 to 8 blocks.
Don't
I
have
wanna
me
say
here.
a
9 to
9.
9 to 1,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I ain't even turned on it.
Oh,
but-
because like I can bring
Awake
photos,
at
but
eight.
like, I don't want to do that to people. So 9 to
So
1.
9 at least.
Yes,
So 9 to
please.
5 window.
And then,
Well-
then the Saturday one is still on the table.
I don't think we like the Saturday.
We don't like the Saturday. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll keep it as
just
is. I'll send it out.
Tuesday or Friday.
Let me work on it.
All right.
Thank you. Thank
We
you
have no
for-
solid answer, Todd, but we're sitting at a
No,
when to meet.
But you got
and-
solid action steps, so that's great. Thanks for putting together the when to meet. That's
Yeah.
super wonderful. That's really helpful.
That
Okay.
way if Mary or Andy have conflict.
Yeah.
they'll-
Yep,
Okay,
that makes sense.
sounds good.
Very good. Thanks for working that out a little bit. That was an important one. Other little tidbits, other things to tell you. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. I do want to just give a shout out to Jenny too, because she's given us a lot of her
Thank
winter
you,
break.
Jenny.
And so we've been working a lot on our annual report. So what's so nice about having gotten all the data kind of together really quickly is that we could take advantage of Jenny's presence to really crank in on the annual report. She's done a whole lot of great work on like the charts that we use in the annual report, just kind of rethinking how to structure those in new and more readable ways and consolidate data to condense things. So it's been fun, actually, really fun. Yeah, it's like this puzzle each year where we're like, how do we convey this message with the least possible pages? And I always like get up into the 50s and she's bringing it down for me, which is wonderful. So that's just really good stuff. And Victoria's been working on all the outreach data, and I am guilty of not putting in my data yet. So that's my next big project, is to get in all the outreach stuff that I've been doing so that we have good, solid outreach data as well. So it's going to come together. The intent will be to get this done hopefully before March. And then we'll have it ready for the retreat.
Nice.
And indeed, and also what I'd like to do, talking with Ashley, I want to be well prepared for presenting to council, because in the last few years we haven't actually gotten a request for our annual report.
Mhm.
So I just kind of like send it in and go, I don't know if that's how you want it. And Ashley actually preemptively asked me, she said, do you want to present in May or June this year? I was like, wow, great, either one, I guess, always, happy to procrastinate a little bit, so we may be in June. But anyway, so that's going to be wonderful that we'll, for the first time in a long time, actually present our annual report in person to council, so that's
That'll be
exciting.
nice.
So good things are happening in that front,
Okay.
but,
So you'll just let me know so then I can be
yeah.
available.
Yep,
Okay.
and I think that we should, maybe the three of us, now that you are re-voted in, re-elected, let's maybe look at a date where we can, if you have time to come to the office, sometimes it's just easier to meet in
Yes.
person, use a big screen
Okay.
and kind of work on some
Yeah.
stuff. I think talking about the retreat, talking about new commissioner orientation,
Okay.
things like that, just kind of planning out the year a little bit.
Yep.
Might be really helpful, so.
Happy.
We can do that.
Ernest, you
Great.
had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I have a challenge.
You have a challenge?
Yes, for the office.
Oh, awesome.
So, I love the totals.
Yeah,
What I would love to see
yeah,
is, a comparison
yeah,
of years,
yep,
pre-COVID,
yep.
the couple of years that 2 or 3, I guess we've been in, what, 3 years now, COVID?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And I guess, do we consider this year a COVID year?
yeah,
Everyone's got a mask on.
yeah.
True.
Thank you, Catherine.
Yep,
So I guess, I would love to see, pre-COVID
mm-hmm,
and what's, how the totals,
very good.
I
We have
don't
that
need-
chart actually in the
I
annual
don't need-
report. Yeah, you can pull that up.
Yeah, I don't need per month.
Just
you know,
the,
'cause that- 'cause,
like,
I mean,
yeah.
a month would be even more detailed.
Yeah, yep,
Just by
Definitely,
year.
yeah,
The totals by the year, I would love to be able to see how, that has changed and fluctuated, especially if you are saying you have gotten 1,000 more contacts.
Yep.
In incoming, contacts in this year alone from last year.
Yep.
That's huge.
it's a lot.
And then you said
Yeah.
a lot of them are, like, you're referring out, so you're like a warehouse, like, referring people out. Well, what struck me, sorry, Ernest, were you done with your thought?
Oh, and then my other question was, about, you had something about, the Hispanic referrals to,
Mhm.
what's the Hispanic organization here in town? San Earls?
Oh, Sin Barreras, yeah. Oh, that's an interesting line that's
That
still in
it
the thing,
didn't-
yeah.
That nothing went to them.
Yeah, I don't think we did any referrals this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know that's probably, and I know that was something that was in the past, correct?
It was, and it's mostly like if it applies, like if
Okay.
what they're asking for is something that they would provide. And so a lot of the things, sometimes we get referrals from them that we then deal with because it's in our purview and not theirs. So, yeah, I don't think we've done, this is referrals from. I guess we didn't, I don't know, maybe we didn't get any this year.
Oh, yeah, the sister firm, so, because I was
Yeah.
wondering, because you talking about, yeah, okay.
Yep.
And do we vice versa go back? Meaning if we get stuff, do we send anything to them?
We do sometimes if it's something that we, that
Is
fits
that
with
this-
what they do.
Is that listed here at all or no?
That would be in all of our, in the referral part. And so you're gonna see a huge change in how data is reported and collected in 2023. We've kind of refined a whole bunch of the pieces. That's another thing that Lily's working on in the background right now. It's a
Okay.
huge project because once you make a big change to the database, you gotta reprogram all the formulas and it takes hours,
Yeah.
but she's diligently working on it. But one of the things we'll see, in the past, we'd collect referral numbers on sort of a tight collection of organizations like Legal Aid Justice Centers, Central Virginia Legal Aid Society, Department of Occupational Regulation, which is the State Fair Housing Office, the EEOC, and the Attorney General's Office of Civil Rights, because those are the closest things that mirror what we do. But in 2023, and so we have numbers for those, and the other ones we would just like make a list of. In 2023's data, you'll see the exact numbers of how many referrals we made to every organization. So it's a little bit more complicated from
Okay.
the data end, but yeah, you'll see that a little bit more clearly.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm done now.
No, it's good. And Ginny, I think, pulled up the comparison between the different years, so you can see the numbers if you want to.
I don't know if there's
No,
a way-
nobody on screen can see it because we don't have a way to, I guess we'd have to log into Zoom and share our screen. It's a little bit complicated, but it'll be in the 2022 annual report. So what, for those who are joining virtually and can't see what we're looking at right now, this is something that's going to be published once we finish the draft of the annual report for 2022. It's a chart comparing the different years and the different contact types and service types that we provided, so.
I guess basically, if anyone can't see, like, since you got here and started having like a consistent data collection method in 2018,
Mhm.
pretty much every kind of contact type, so like complaints, inquiries, general contacts, follow-ups, it's in every single category, it's increased over time, except for 2020, where it like dipped a little bit.
Yep.
But since then, it's like very steadily increased each year.
Yep, yeah, it seems like accurate.
Yeah,
Cool.
except for complaints, I think there were 10 this year and 12 in 2021.
I believe that's true, yeah. Yeah, I think
But
that's
still.
right. But about the same, but still a big increase over earlier years, so, yeah. And with our new mediator that started, was it last year, I believe? We're doing a lot more resolution through mediation than we ever have, because I don't think we ever did mediation before, and it's been really helpful for some people to get solutions through mediation, so. Always learning.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Do you all have updates that you wanted to share too? I kind of run through a bunch of stuff there, so, yeah, thank you both for
You have something,
doing
Madam
all the
Chair?
stuff.
Oh, no, I was just gonna comment on what he said about the mediation, that it was 249, which seemed like a high number. Now I'm curious, Todd, of like inputting the data, is you're self-inputting the data, like every day
Yeah,
into something?
yeah, not.
Not
when
every
we
day,
can
but.
to. And so we're getting way into the weeds, but I'm having, we'll nerd out on it because we think about it all the time, but for things like phone calls, emails, that stuff, once we get them, we read them, we log them, right? And so we can do that directly. When we're interacting face to face, it'll often be that we're doing something on paper and then that goes in later. So, yeah. And then we get text messages, all the things, all that stuff goes in so that we can then track, like, how are we being contacted? You know, what is the type of service that we're providing on a consistent basis, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I don't know, my scientific brain is always active in some
Yeah.
ways, but I'm wondering if we could partner with like I know you guys are doing it and you were saying you're making like drastic changes, but maybe getting like an intern from UVA that's like a computer science, CS major that maybe can like help make it more efficient. Because even so right now, like it's a little, like I'm sure it's frustrating to you, like you're writing it on paper and then having to input it versus like if there's some information you can gather from people kind of coming in as they're maybe waiting or they're interfacing, so you can gather some information and you kind of go back to make it a little bit more
Yeah, I
efficient.
think
But
it's a good question. So we've looked at like, so you're asking a couple of things there I hear, like working on maybe a different interface. We've looked at that. What we do like about Excel is that when we want to make a change, we can just do it.
yeah,
If we have an interface, we have to find somebody who knows the programming language
No, I
to make the
understand.
change.
Yeah.
So we actually started drafting a new UI to make it like a whole program
Gotcha.
that was more automated. But the amount of like work it was going to take to even get it up to par with our Excel sheet was like monumental, and we had data like coming in. We're like, sorry, we just got to jump
no, I
back.
understand.
to
I
our-
was saying,
Yeah.
the reason why I suggest this is because I had to do something similar at UVA,
Mhm.
where I literally hired like, actually the department hired someone else, like that's their expertise. It's very different bringing someone that's their expertise
Totally.
that can like, I mean, within months' time, like it
Yeah.
took a month's time, kind of back and forth what I needed and sharing, and like we
Right.
had this lot easier interface that was able to manipulate your data. So
Yeah.
I think just thinking about making it more efficient, not just of inputting the data, but also the output of the data, a CS major is going to be able to do that a lot easier and more like efficiently. Where like here, it's easier for you to interface, it's also easier for you to make changes, and then on the back end, when you have to do graphs and curating the data,
Mhm.
it also outputs to you something that's useful. So it's just
Sure.
a thought
Yeah.
as we're thinking of partnering.
As it
you know,
gets
with
bigger,
others.
we could continue to think about it. Right now, it's like such a work in progress that
Yeah.
it's hard, and it's really hard to like sort of
I understand.
walk people into it.
Yes.
But if you like, I don't know, if you're moving about kind of like the community, if you see somebody who like oh, this would be maybe a good partnership.
Okay.
And somebody who's just interested in like taking a look at our system and saying, oh, you could do X, Y, and Z with it, that would be cool
Yeah.
too.
There's
Yeah.
always the scientist in me. I think that there's definitely our younger generation has that social justice
Yeah,
like mindset, and I think thinking about it from this, like, literally help us curate this from a
Sure.
scientific point of view, like helps us as a commission, and are you, your office
sure.
as a commission, it's just a thought. If it fits, if it doesn't, it's all good. I just was curious of, this is it's just like a lot of hand touching that.
A little bit, yeah. It's, I
Maybe
don't know any
tedious.
other way to capture, like,
Yeah.
for example, like, I go over to Midway Manor and I talk to somebody and like, I'm not gonna take my computer and log in and do it there. I'm gonna write it on paper because
Yeah.
this is very organic interaction, right?
Yes.
Like, for example, when it comes down to like, receiving like a phone call, right? I put it on speaker and I type it in, done. I don't know that I can speed those kinds of things up.
Yeah.
But maybe there's some little efficiencies that could be figured out in there. But anyway, if you come across somebody that you think you'd want, like, send them our way. I'd be happy to, like,
Have the
if
conversation.
they're interested enough to like sit down and talk with us about it, then we want to talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jenny and Victoria, for your work. We really appreciate it. It's good. I can't wait to see the chart with the side by side, just to see the increase in the numbers.
Yeah, totally.
I
Thank
can
y'all.
show it to you after this or
Yeah,
something.
okay.
I
Yep.
actually had a question for you related to that. When
Yeah.
I was going back through the like list of resolutions from the commission, I saw
Yes.
one from like a lot of years ago that was talking about a partnership with UVA and having an
Yep.
intern from UVA
Yep.
helping the commission.
Yes, there was going to be a non-voting UVA affiliate, I guess, on the commission. And then, yeah, it just sort of, they weren't able to participate regularly. We lost all the contacts and we tried to follow up with them and didn't hear back. So, yeah, that was something that, and then so I think we decided to just not pursue it any further. But that was good read. That was a long time ago. That was like 4 years
I
ago,
remember that.
3 years ago.
I think I was on the commission at the start of it.
You probably were,
We
yeah.
had
At the
a
end of it.
at the end of it, yeah.
Mhm.
It was a cohort of UVA students that used to come regularly to HRC meetings,
Yep.
and they expressed interest in like being a part of it, even though they weren't like Charlottesville like residents permanently, but they wanted the UVA presence. So
Yep.
I think
And
it
it
was
worked
born
for a
out
little
of a regular
while.
relationship.
Yeah, and then it didn't, yeah. I think just people change. I
Yeah.
think that's the hard part, is that people's lives get busy and it just changed, and there was nobody to sort of pick it up after. I think one of them actually went to the annual VAHR conference with us one year, which was kind of exciting. That was kind of neat. Anyway,
Thank y'all for your effort.
I do have a quick question.
Yes.
So this is, I have a question about the way in which data is collected and how it's tied to personal information. Is it
Yeah.
completely separate?
well,
like-
yeah, go ahead.
So this data that you're presenting here, are you tying that contact note to a particular person, or are you just making that note that this happened on this date?
For us, this is a case management database.
Okay.
And so you all will never see the sort of, the database itself where we're
Gotcha.
entering it. What you'll see is the output that comes from it, and that's this chart that it pops up and
Okay.
populates when we fill it out. Because we also use it as like our case management system. So like once a week, we do a case review, right? And so there's a column in there that we can mark if we need to follow up, and then we just like sort it for that, go through our list of follow-ups, make sure we haven't missed anybody, and then go off on our way and do the work. So, yeah, that it's all, every point on there is tied to a specific entry, which is tied to a specific
Is it
person.
case?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
Mhm. Good question. Thank you for being interested. We've spent a lot of time working on it, so it's nice to be asked about it.
Was there anything else you needed to share, Todd?
I don't think so.
Victoria, or-
Do y'all have anything that we've been working on that we should share? I can't think of anything at the moment. Lots of projects coming up, but yeah, we're good.
There's some details under the outreach section about new educational materials or graphic designer and creating a panel workshop, and I'm curious if the work of HRC can like support the work that you're doing, the commission can support the work you're doing.
I think we're still working with the animator. So what we're working on with, she's an animator based out of Richmond, and the goal is to eventually have her kind of, or I guess maybe like one step further back is Ginny and I, once again, Ginny kind of super saved the day on this. We went and we recorded kind of like a brief description of each of the protected activities under the Human Rights Ordinance as like a vocal piece. What our work with the animator is aiming to have at the end result is to have like kind of like a brief animated video that discusses each protected activity under the ordinance, and then we can make that available on our website or on city social media. So far, we're still kind of in the first stage, and we're working on creating our first video with her. So I can share that once it's completed, but we're still kind of getting that set up. For the panel discussion, we're working with Disability Law Center to have kind of maybe like a Zoom format or maybe a hybrid format meeting with Disability Law Center from Richmond. We're working on maybe including like other voices that could talk about things like reasonable accommodations, and then how our office can sort of how disability as a protected class kind of interacts with that. But that's also kind of still getting set up.
Okay.
So, but I can share updates about that once we have them.
Is that all, Todd?
I think so. Yep.
Catherine?
Can I just ask a quick? I love the idea of the animated videos. I think that's brilliant. Will it be possible to have those, say, in Spanish as well?
For sure. We don't have anything right now. They're kind of just recorded in English. So I think we can. I think we're still kind of. I think our goal is to kind of have one piece done first, and then see how we like the format. If we think that that's kind of like the messaging that we want to go with, and then I think once that happens, kind of getting it in other languages or in other accessible formats is probably going to be the next move.
And that should probably be pretty easy. I mean, as long as it's legal, taking like the creative property of the animator, but you should be able to just like remove the audio from the English version and slap on the Spanish version. If it's about the same length.
I feel like probably we can work on that.
Great, thanks.
Are we good with no more updates? Okay. I imagine this meeting was going to be quick, which it is. So I could be corrected. I didn't think there was any ad hoc committee updates, but is there any ad hoc committee updates? Yes.
Housing.
Looking.
Okay. I sent out an email to say that basically many hands make light work, and I would love for people to want to join the housing subcommittee, since I think this is the bulk of the work that we are intending to do, to continue doing into this coming year. I didn't hear back from anybody, so there's still an opportunity to join if you'd like to. About like budget proposals. I don't know if it's a Human Rights Commission's, I don't know if it's the Commission's space to offer that feedback. But I drafted a thing, would love some feedback on it, as we're looking at housing issues in the city. So those are my updates from the Housing Committee.
And Wolfgang, did you see Ashley's response?
Yes.
At 6:30? So
Yeah,
something to take a look at about just giving you suggestions about
working with hours.
internal city staff that might have some expertise to talk about some of the things that are in the budget and how that might impact
Yeah.
things that are in the letter.
I wasn't sure if that was related as just like a good resource for us, if it was
Yeah.
related specifically to the letter. I haven't, I think your email came in 2 minutes before our meeting, so I haven't really.
Yeah,
checked
I
to
haven't
look at it.
dived into it yet. Either I have it open right now, but yeah, we'll all take a look at that after, I think.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you, Wolfgang. It wouldn't hurt to, after this meeting, to maybe resend
Thank
this to
everybody.
people.
Yeah.
I saw it, but.
It's also with the letter, more just the ongoing work of the housing committee.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. I think now it's public comment again, which we don't have because we don't have any attendees.
Nobody?
Okay. Are there any commissioner, obviously there's no commissioner response to that, but are there any commissioner updates?
Just don't forget about the event at the Haven
Oh, when is that?
on January, I think, 30th.
It's on January 30th.
It was open house.
What time?
It's
Is-
like 6
6
o'clock.
o'clock.
There's an event, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
That Wolfgang put in.
I'll bump it in the email again.
Okay, thank you, sorry.
No, you're fine. We have a lot of competing things in life.
No, I just, like, when I'm reviewing the notes, it's always like, chair asked to rescind it. And I'm
Yeah, it was
like,
something we couldn't approve. It was a committee meeting we could not approve because you were the chair.
it was just like, I always feel so embarrassed, like, I'm the one always asking to rescind it, but.
It gives me
Totally
something to do.
Yes, Catherine, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to thank, I know I saw Ernest and maybe some other folks who came to the Livable Seville webinar on homelessness. It was actually really well done, I thought, and it was recorded. So if anybody wants to go to the Livable Seville site, they can see that recording. I'll just give you the too long didn't read, which is that it turns out that housing cures homelessness. So we can ponder that deep thought.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Any other commissioner updates?
A couple of things. Just we have a new police chief in the city now. Hopefully that will right the ship or get a handle on what's going on in the city with all of the gunfire and what have you. So you just have to have a leader in place. So we haven't had in a little bit. So it's nice to have. And I don't think I have anything else. Looking forward to the retreat coming up and what we do on that day. And if when we get a chance to, please take a look at budget stuff that the city is proposing. And I guess, like I said in our last meeting, just keeping an eye on housing and what they're doing with housing as far as money going that direction.
Just to add to that, Ernest, I appreciated the opportunity to meet with Chief Brackney when we did.
Mm-hmm.
And if we
That's a good
thought
idea.
there would be an opportunity to meet with a new chief, it doesn't have to be right away, but, to hear their plans around human rights actions within the, equity actions within the police force. I think that would be really interesting, just to have that opportunity.
Well, I would also like to follow up. I mean, much of our discussion with Chief Brackney centered on the lack of detail and transparency in the budget.
Yeah.
So I would like to know how the new chief plans to provide information about the police budget.
I agree.
Seems like he doesn't want to change it. Seems like he wants to keep it so he can try to hire officers. So.
As I recall too, there were also some recommendations that the commission had made to Chief Brackney that it seemed like we never really were able to connect with her on that or have a discussion about it. And it might be worthwhile revisiting those recommendations to see if they're still relevant. And just so we have some, if we were able to meet with the new police chief, to have more things to discuss.
Yes, okay. Let's try to see if we can put some in place maybe sometime in the summer. We definitely will have time to get his feet wet and get around a little bit.
If I may, I think it's also important to kind of think about sort of the bigger picture too of like the PCOB is right now in the process of hiring their new director, and they're also going to need to connect with the chief. So, and it's more their overview, their purview to be kind of thinking about the sort of police work. So I just want to be mindful of the fact that that's all kind of happening at the same time. So maybe the proposal that summer is a good time may give everything a chance to settle in a little bit, and then kind of see where the commission fits in that conversation.
Yep.
So, yep.
We've also tried to connect with the PCOB several times to see if we can make sure that we're not duplicating our work.
True.
We can support them. We're not going to
Yep.
bother the same people with the same issues.
And I used to
We
have
work with
regular
work.
meetings with Hansel
Yeah.
about that, like monthly, to talk about what they were doing and talk about what we're doing and kind of make sure that we were on the right track. And so hopefully that will be the case with the new PCOB director as well.
Do you know when that person is coming in?
They're in the hiring process right now,
Okay.
so I think they've
Okay.
narrowed it down for second interviews at this point.
And special thanks to our interim Tito, who was standing in the gap. So I
Absolutely.
special appreciation to him, and he also spoke at the NSBP opening remarks for us. So just thank you for the work and standing in as interim. I think he was planning to retire, and then he was interim police for a little bit. So thank you, Tito.
Yes.
Any other commissioner updates?
Just I wanted to extend gratitude to both you, Jessica, and Ernest for staying into these roles for another year. It's much appreciated. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Thank
All
you.
Jessica.
I took your job, sorry.
That's all.
All right, well, I know Catherine had to jump off soon, so we're honoring that. So, next steps, sorry, I should say next steps for us. I will be meeting with Todd just to start planning out this year, doing some workshopping. We should get back on schedule, Ernest, Todd and I, just on our regular check-ins. We will have, when to meet, went out. Thank you so much, Wolfgang, for sending that during the meeting. And so if you guys can complete that, so we can iron down a good time for the retreat. Did I miss anything else in the next steps? And then we're gonna have our next group committee meeting in February
February 2nd.
on the 2nd, in person here.
No, that
No,
will be
virtual.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
kind of virtual for,
As we're virtual for the next couple,
yeah, for the next two committee meetings.
next couple committee meetings.
Oh, committee meetings.
Yeah.
And assuming you don't have a committee meeting in March when you have your retreat, that makes kind of sense probably not to have a committee meeting early. We could, but
Right. So, because we have to be in virtual, this doesn't count against our, like, how many virtual we get to have as requested by the
it
commission?
still does, because it doesn't
That's not
change.
fair.
No, sorry.
I have strong opinions about that.
I do too. I
I-
need one of
We get
those.
sandwiches
The-
if we need them.
And the hard part is that there's just not another space that we could reserve. And so the easiest way to make it happen was just to burn up a couple of the virtual ones to still keep it on the calendar, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know. It's a challenge right now. It's a challenge with the space issue, because there's just not a lot of options.
So what does that mean for individual council members who really can't make an in-person
Right.
meeting? And we're counting on having the ability to ask for attending virtually?
Yeah, and well, so like the commission itself only can like have full remote
Gotcha.
twice a year, 25% of all meetings. Individuals can participate virtually if you meet one of the like 5 criteria in
Gotcha.
state law. So like, for example, Catherine is distant, right? More than 60 miles distant from the physical meeting, and so that's justification to join remotely. That's not limited, now I might be wrong, I have to look at the SOP again and the state law, but I'm pretty sure that's not limited in quantity, like
Gotcha.
individually. It's that the
Oh,
commission
okay.
as a whole can't do full remote meetings more than twice or 25%.
But that's what I'm saying,
Thanks for that clarity, though.
full remote regular meetings.
Or committee, those are
But
separate.
that's what I'm saying, but we're
Yep.
getting 2 by default taken up because we can't be in this space.
Yes.
So then we can't have any more virtual meetings.
I think so somebody quickly do the math. We've done this a couple of times in the meeting. So
All right.
25% of 12 regular meetings would be, what is that?
3?
3.
Is it 3? So you got one more.
But that's not fair, Todd.
I know. I can't
We
fix
can't yell
it.
at Todd.
Okay.
I don't disagree.
I've said my piece, but that's like not, like,
I affirm what you're
Okay,
saying. and
just thank
the problem is, I don't know how to fix it. That said, I think we talked about, I could push harder to find an alternate space. That's one way we could preserve those. If what I'm hearing is that is important to you as chair of the commission to like preserve some of those abilities to meet virtually for whatever reason, in the future, I can ask about other spaces in February and other spaces in April, because that's where, and then we didn't really talk about a committee meeting in March, but we could.
Yeah.
So let me know, I guess, what the will of the commission is, and I can work
I
on
would
that.
say it doesn't hurt for you to see if there's other spaces. I just
Yeah,
hate by like a technicality, we're removing 2 of our 3 options to be virtual, where
yep,
like in the first 2 months of our,
Right, through no
Commi-
choice of our
yeah.
own. It's not because of
it's
our-
not because of
something
our
we
own
decide.
request.
yep. And I suppose that we could look at like Key Rec Center. I don't know, I have to look at what the approved spaces are. Like there are very few right now that are approved for meetings. So I'll dig back into it if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm speaking on chair, but sorry, I had a very like strong reaction to that, but I'm also happy to let it go if y'all are like, it's fine. It just doesn't seem,
Well,
Justifiable.
look, I'm not happy that, you know, we had to change up March 16th,
yeah,
you know, so, you know, it's, yeah, so I understand.
okay.
Yep.
Catherine, do you have any thoughts before we wrap up?
Nope, sounds good.
Okay, all right, we will officially adjourn the meeting at 7:30 PM Eastern. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. Thank you. Thank you, Ernest.